Hey, what up, fam? So, we need to clear some shit up right now. If you're the type of dude who posted a photo of Leonidas screaming into a spear during lockdown with a caption like, oh, I don't know, modern problems require ancient solutions, this episode is for you. If you ever typed discipline over everything while drinking a $13 protein shake, watching 300, and ignoring your mom calling from the kitchen, this one's for you too. I'm about to rip the bronze jockstrap off the Spartan myth so fucking hard, the ghost of Gerard Butler's fake abs might tremble. This isn't a history lesson. It's a fucking gut check. And if you still think you want to be a Spartan when I'm done, shit, you weren't fucking listening. Sparta wasn't a warrior utopia. It wasn't a beacon of masculine discipline, ancient tradition, or military perfection. It was a state-run trauma factory. It was a PTSD machine with spears. And it's been turned into a personality cult for people who think showing emotion is weakness. But somehow crying during John Wick 4 is fine. Let's start here. You think the agoge was cool? You've been fucking lied to. The agoge wasn't training. It wasn't CrossFit with spears. It was ritualized child abuse, wrapped in patriotism and fear. Boys were taken at the age of 7. Let that fucking sink in. 2nd grade. They were ripped away from their mothers, denied warmth, food, comfort, education, individuality, affection, or play. No toys, no hugs, no sleepovers. Only violence, starvation, humiliation, and state surveillance. You were trained to kill. But more importantly, you were trained not to feel. You were taught how to suffer, not survive. You just idolized a system where fathers didn't know their own sons. Picture this. You're a Spartan boy. You've just turned 7. You're dragged away from your mother's arms. No goodbye. No ceremony. Just yanked. And now you're property of the state. No fucking birthday candles. No toys. No warm meals. Just blood, dirt, and older boys wanting to break you down. You sleep on a straw mat in a cold barracks full of strangers. No privacy. No affection. Just pain. You're not fed properly. Not because there's a food shortage. Because starvation is part of the training. You're expected to steal to survive. And if you get caught, you're beaten. You weren't disciplined for stealing. You're encouraged to lie, cheat, and deceive, as long as you're good at it. You're not rewarded for virtue. You're rewarded for cruelty, silence, and cunning. And if you show weakness, the older boys will fix that. They beat you until you stop crying, until you stop flinching, until you stop being a child. Because that's the goal of the agoge. Kill the child before he becomes a man. There's a story told by Plutarch. You won't hear it in any gym bro Instagram reel with dramatic violins. A young Spartan boy was caught stealing a fox. He didn't get caught stealing it. He got caught hiding it under his cloak. The guards didn't see the fox, but they saw him acting suspicious. So they searched him. And what they found wasn't the fox. It was a corpse. Because the fox had gnawed through his stomach while he stood still, while he remained silent, while he followed the only rule he knew. Do not show weakness. This child, maybe 10 or 11, stood there and let an animal rip him open. He didn't flinch. He didn't scream. He didn't cry. He died in silence to avoid punishment. And you know what the adult Spartans said about this? They called him a hero. They praised his discipline. They used him as an example of the ideal boy. Be like him, they said. Endure pain silently. Die if you must, but do not embarrass the state. It's night, cold, quiet. The moon stares down like it pities you. You huddle under your scratchy blanket, though blanket is generous. It's more like burlap someone pissed on. Your stomach growls. It always growls. You've been hungry for 3 days now, ever since they started rationing again. But you know better than to complain. Boys who complain don't get food. Boys who complain get the stick. Beside you, another boy sobs quietly. His name is Nikos. He came from the Hill District. His dad was a hoplite. That didn't save him from being dragged here. You try not to listen to him. You try not to let his fear infect you. But you're scared too. You miss your mom. Her voice. The way she smelled like olives and firewood. The way she used to hold you when your dreams were bad. You haven't heard a kind voice in a week. You blink back tears. You must not cry. A footstep. Heavy. Deliberate. One of the older boys. He's a year from manhood, which makes him a god to you, and a monster. He walks past you, pauses. You hold your breath. Nikos is still crying. The older boy turns. You feel it before you hear it. The blow. Flesh on flesh. Nico gasps. Chokes. Curls up like a snail. Another hit. Then another. You stay still. If you move, you'll be next. If you breathe too loud, you'll be next. If you show fear, you'll be next. So you stare straight ahead, into the darkness, and you say nothing. And you feel your heart freeze. This is how Spartans are made. Not born. Broken. The Spartan system didn't just chew up children. It incinerated individuality. If you were weak, gone. If you had a disability, tossed. If you questioned authority, silenced. If you loved wrong, felt wrong, or spoke out of turn, banished. They called it eugenics. We call it fascism in a helmet. This wasn't a society. It was a human shredder with a flag. Boys were trained to kill. Girls were trained to breed. And the whole fucking operation ran on fear. Fear of the helots rising. Fear of looking weak. Fear of your neighbor reporting you. Every Spartan man lived with the knowledge you are only as valuable as your silence and your strength. And both of those are temporary. Because when the body fails, and it always fails, what's left? Nothing. No legacy, no joy, no you. You made it through the agoge. You didn't cry. You didn't die. You endured beatings, starvation, humiliation. You stole. You deceived. You killed. And now? Now you're 20. You're not a man yet. You're a weapon with breath. You sleep in the barracks. You don't live with your wife, assuming you were allowed to marry. You sneak out at night and try to father children like a criminal. You eat with other men. You train with other men. You're not allowed to be alone. Why? Because alone, a man remembers that he has a soul. Spartan law kept you in uniform, in formation, in fear. Because a man who thinks for himself might question why his entire life is built on the bones of dead boys. And the state cannot allow that. So you're drilled again and again and again. You sharpen your spear. You recite your state-approved verses. You chant slogans. You don't laugh. You don't weep. You don't think. You are a fucking ghost in bronze. People love to say Spartans had unbreakable brotherhood. Let's get one thing straight. Spartan loyalty was not love. It was fucking surveillance. You reported each other. If someone skipped training, you told the elders. If someone cried in their sleep, you told the squad leader. If someone showed mercy to a helot, you killed them. Or you'd be killed next. Brotherhood, built on fear, is not brotherhood. It's hostage taking with eye contact. And then you got these modern D-bags trying to romanticize it. Spartan loyalty was the loyalty of prisoners who shared a cell, not comrades who shared a dream. Let's talk about 300, because you knew we were gonna fucking get here. Frank Miller's Stroke Session. It was a cinematic masterpiece of propaganda cosplay. Leonidas roaring into history, shirtless, bearded, six-pack glistening in the CGI sun. The real Leonidas was a king trained in cruelty, the product of incestuous militarism. His stand at Thermopylae was brave, yes, but not mythical. He didn't wear a red cape and a snarl. He wore armor and fear. The Spartans at Thermopylae didn't fight for freedom. They fought for Spartan dominance. They didn't die for democracy. They died defending a society where 90% of the population was enslaved. That's right. The helots. The ones that Hollywood erased. Spartans weren't warriors of liberty. They were elite soldiers of an apartheid state. So, my favorite scene in 300 was when the messenger came to Leonidas and they were already at Thermopylae. And the guy said, "Our arrows will black out the sun." And Leonidas said, "Then we will fight in the shade." I thought that shit was cold as fuck. But probably the most famous is when he kicks the messenger into the pit of despair. That was diplomatic murder. And we turned that into a meme. Let me tell you about Aristodemus. He survived Thermopylae. He didn't flee. He was ordered to leave due to an eye infection. When he got back, the Spartans called him a coward. They spat at him, ignored him in the barracks, refused to speak his name, gave him the nickname the Trembler. He lived in isolation, shame, exile within his own fucking home. So what did he do? He fought at the Battle of Plataea like a fucking demon. Reckless. Suicidal even. A fucking berserker. Historians say he fought with mad courage. Translation? He was trying to die. That's what fucking Spartan culture did to him. It took a wounded man and told him, feelings are failure. Pain is weakness. Only death can redeem you. And when he finally died, the same men who ostracized him praised him. Fuck that and fuck them. No music, no art, no innovation, no science, no philosophy, no love. When Sparta fell, it left behind no great literature, no cultural legacy, just fear and a myth. Athens gave us Plato, Socrates, the Parthenon, democracy, poetry, medicine. Sparta gave us corpses and cautionary tales. And yet, somehow in the 21st century, we made them heroes. We turned human suffering into an aesthetic. We made a state-sized war crime into a gym slogan. Why? Because modern culture loves pain without purpose. We crave toughness over tenderness, brutality over balance. And the myth of the Spartan? It lets people think they are elite for being cold, for being hard, for being alone. But check it out, fam. You're not a fucking Spartan. You have a Spotify account, a closet full of hoodies, and a panic attack if your DoorDash is late. You're not a warrior forged in the fires of state terror. You're a human being trying to survive a late-stage capitalist hellscape where performative toughness is a brand and empathy is a weakness. The people shouting Spartan mindset on X, formerly Twitter, they melt when their Uber driver takes a wrong turn. The guys flexing shirtless in helmets, they cry in crypto group chats. You're not a Spartan. And thank the gods you're not. You have the chance to feel, to heal, to raise your kids with hugs, not beatings, to build community with truth. Let me say that again. To build community with truth, not violence. To define manhood by compassion, not conquest. Sparta is not a goal. It's a fucking warning. You are now a full Spartan. You've killed. You've survived. You've buried friends. You've silenced your soul. You sit in the mess hall, surrounded by men. Every word you say is calculated. Every movement, monitored. You haven't slept alone in 30 years. Your wife is a stranger. Your son is repeating your path. And you realize you've never been alone, but you've always been lonely. You were born into a system that demanded obedience, not connection. And now, you're just a blade, dulling in its sheath, waiting to die. There is no glory left, no victory, only memory, only myth. And when your body finally fails, they will replace you, erase you, forget you.
This is Sparta!
That's it for part 1. Stay tuned for part 2. And if you like these series, let me know. I'll keep them going. But they are a lot of work. I'm just being honest.
Hey, I got a mind of an activist, but a life of a night to